Monday morning to you. Good Monday morning to you. We are here at our favorite miracle call every Monday morning at this very same time. Let's see, today is the 12th of January. My name is Sunshower Rose. I'm one of four hosts for the Miracle Call. Happy to see you all here, especially the brand new people. We love to see from you, see you and hear from you. So here's the way we do it. In order to give a testimonial, you just raise your virtual hand, and you really need to kind of keep it up while you're speaking or else you disappear and I can't see you anymore. So the way you do that is there's little icons at the bottom of your laptop or desktop, a little bit different on a phone, I think. But there's like a heart, says react. You click that, and then here pops up some other icons. You want the long horizontal one that says raise hand. Because if you hit the other one, it might just go like this, and that's not what we want. We want to actually see you raise your hand to give your testimonial. And here's how that part goes. You are going to tell us your symptoms before you started using X39 or Celergize. For the first 15 minutes, we'll just focus on those two things. Okay, so give us your symptoms. Please do not say any disease name, as LifeWave does not claim to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. So just pretend you're at your doctor's and you're saying, "Oh, doctor, this is how it was." And then where you put the X39, how long you used it, or if you're using Celergize, tell us about how long you've been drinking that wonderful thing. And then, the results. That's what we want to hear from you. So we give you about 30 to 60 seconds. We wait for people to raise their hands. And then once you do raise your hand and I call on you, please keep your raised hand up so I can still see you and everybody else can see you while you're speaking. So, with that in mind, we'll get started. I only see one hand, so sometimes it takes people a while to just feel comfortable enough to raise those hands and speak. So, we might give the folks at the beginning a little longer until you guys get the swing of it. So, again, welcome to all the new people. So happy to see you all here. So, let's see. Well, Dushenka, are you first then?
I'm first.
I guess you are, girl.
So before I started using X39, it took me a long time to fall asleep. Everyone in the house had to be asleep. Once I was asleep, if there was a dog that barked 3 blocks away, I woke up. What's that noise? If the neighbor decided to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, there's a little tiny light coming out of their bathroom window that wasn't there before, I wake up. What's that light? I just called it motherhood because it started with pregnancy and continued. And then I was using the X39. I started September 1st, 2022. And 4th of July of 2023, my husband said, "Are you looking forward to all the fireworks and car alarms that are going off tonight?" Because our neighborhood, people shoot off guns and fireworks illegally and blah, blah, blah. And I don't really remember answering him. The next thing I knew, it was 8 hours later. I was completely refreshed. I grabbed my keys. I went to the beach to see Dawn at the beach. I came home. I said, I remember you asking me that question last night, but I don't remember answering you. He said, "Yeah, you didn't. You just started snoring." And that's how it was for me. I put my head on the pillow and I wake up 6, 8, somewhere in there, hours later, completely rested and refreshed and ready to go about my day.
Well, isn't that gratifying?
Yeah.
You thought it was being a mom.
Yeah.
All along, you could have gotten all this great rest had you known any sooner about X39, but at least you
Exactly.
found out about it. Someone was kind enough to introduce you. That's the
Mama.
only way this happens, right?
Yep.
We're all here because someone cared enough to introduce us to this fabulous technology. Thank you so much, Dushenka. So, hi, Trisha.
Hello. I wanted to tell you about what happened Christmas Day at my house. because we had a little accident, and the my youngest daughter was here with her family and their new French bulldog, and he's a little rambunctious. But my older daughter hadn't met the dog yet, so she came in and said hello to him, and then later on she got up close and personal with him, and he didn't like it, so he bit her on the nose. And she was not a happy camper. So she got very upset, and I said, "It's okay. It's okay. We'll put an X39 on it and you'll be better." And so we did, and she has been taking care of it ever since. The next day, the there were like three spots on her nose. One was
Mhm.
longer than the other.
Mhm.
It was the one that was bleeding the most, and it had closed up the next day. And a few days later, she came by, and I forgot to ask her about it because it was so unnoticeable. And so yesterday I did an up close and personal inspection, and she said, "Well, there's just a little bruising right here, and a little bit of a mark here, and a tiny one here." And I said, "Okay, keep using the X39, and that should go away too." So we're having great results with it.
Wow, thank you so much. And how long did that take again, Trisha?
It was Christmas Day when it happened, so it's
Hmm.
been 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's something that LifeWave is known for is scar reduction. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some people have quite large scars from years and years and years ago, and they just seem to go away. It
Yes,
does take some time,
it does.
as with most things, right? It might not be
Mhm.
overnight, but heck, if it's going to work, just
Well,
stay.
the big one had closed so well and was just barely a little line on it the next day. I was impressed with that.
Yes.
So
Well, good for you. Thank you so much for sharing. There's all
thank
kinds of
you.
pet stories too. We got a bunch of them. Thanks, Trisha. So shall I call the next person Sir or SIR? How do you like to be called? Unmute, please. Okay, well, yeah. No, we're not hearing you
Yeah,
right.
I
We can't get the words.
okay. I'll keep
Yeah.
trying here. I don't know
Yeah,
if
sometimes
this
if you
will
turn off
work.
your camera, why don't you turn off your camera and see if we can hear you better? Okay.
Okay, how's that?
Oh, it's much better. And speak a little bit louder. We'd love to hear your testimonial.
Well, uh, my name is RC, which stands for Richard Christopher. Apparently, it stands for remote control today, not working as well. But I have been with my sponsor, who's an executive 1 star. I'm not sure what it all is, but I do know I've been here for 4 years almost. And my testimony is that my blood panel is half of what it was when I started, but it was that way after I started with X39 and eventually using all of the products over the last 4 years, but realizing that the mainstay has been because I have been able to prove the science by getting the blood panels, and my sponsor has had this done also. I think Jim Gilliland is on here right now. I'm the first person he signed up, and I have been participating in Doc Talk as a university professor and a person who is an intermediary regarding all of nutritional and health with background of mom and wife as medical professionals. But we're dealing with looking at the science in allopathic medicine and realizing that if a person has not changed dramatically in 30 days, there's one way to start, and that is get a blood panel, one or four or five, with a MD or a specialist or someone who at the lab can say, you started here, then 30 days, take the X39, put it wherever you have pain, or as in the clinical trials, back of the neck or below the navel, and then realize after 30 days of 12 hours a day, go and get another blood panel. Now, this will obviously show certain scientific proof. And in David's letter on the 29th, a wonderful letter, and this morning's newsletter, uh, it was brought up about how God is helping us to get prayer answered and then also to be in compliance. And as we are in compliance and praying first, then the activation of the X39 will actually be proved to people who say, well, I didn't grow a third eye in the middle of my head in my pineal gland, or I did not get this result relative to my pain. There are disappointments which become appointments to take, let's say, more of the X39 or to match that particular patch with another patch. It's wonderful to realize that the power of stem cell research has come down to a $4 patch that can go under my beret or cowboy hat or under my top or anywhere on the body, and realize the reactivation against all of the damage that happened between age 25 and age 30 when the stem cells began to go dormant, fall asleep, and then are finally awakened, as in my case, being 4 years ago, unable perhaps to go surfing or play volleyball or do things that I wanted to do back then. But now, as I was born on Election Day in 1946, I find myself with a 40 or 50-year-old blood panel and the capability to do the heavy lifting that perhaps I shouldn't be able to do as I'm entering my 80th year.
Wow, congratulations, Richard. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we have to kind of keep it a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I'm done.
You really made some good points. The scientific part, there's a lot of people that are so skeptical. They hear about a little tiny patch and that it's going to do this and this and this for their stem cells, and they're like, nah.
Exactly. That's the cure to the cynicism and skepticism within the industry. And I have been in the industry, as my sponsor has been, for 40 years.
Right.
But as a business person, understanding compliance, being licensed and bonded in other areas of business, but to understand that the compliance really is to realize what is the best thing I may do today to know that the X39 is really working for me. The testimonial evidence is one thing, and that's on all of these calls. But if we go to the challenge of someone who really lives, let's say, in biblical unbelief, is the way I would put it.
Okay.
My term is to be Holy Spirit natural, beyond what might commonly be called common sense or supernatural miracles. We're looking at the miracle of what David has expressed from the
Absolutely.
beginning over the last 20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your input. And now we're going to
Thank
move
you.
on to John Ward.
Can you hear me?
Nah. Loud and clear. Go for it, John.
Well, back in June of 2019, I got my first X39, and I was a person who had an enormous amount of non-issues. So my expectation level was very low because there was nothing that I needed to work on. But I trusted my sponsor, Robin, and trusted what she wrote and knew enough to go ahead and get involved because of the science. But in the matter of 6 days, my sleep went to deep REM sleep. And I was a pretty good sleeper to begin with, but never anything like this. And it's never left. As a matter of fact, now it has changed to I only need 4 or 5 hours sleep.
Wow.
And it's deep, restful REM sleep. So, and I've talked to some other people, Ron Rabin, experiencing the same thing, where
Mhm.
you just don't need as much sleep.
Right. So what do you do with all your extra time? Go out and share the light, right?
Well, that and uh, um, I do a lot more prayer work because I'm up early. I like my quiet time, and I'm back in the gym. And one of the things I love about X39 at 73 years old, I can build muscle, which I don't want to lose. It's one of the worst things that can happen to us. And I recover like I never went to the gym.
Isn't that something? Aren't we lucky?
Yes, very.
Yeah. And we thank God that David followed his dream. So
Very.
thank you, John.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Wow. Where's all hands? We'd love to hear from some of the new people or people that haven't spoken for a while. Come on, get those hands up. Let's go back to Dushenka, but I really want to see some more hands. Come on.
Well, I just raised my hand again because it's 8:16, so we can talk about the sleep patch.
Okay.
And I, like I said earlier, I didn't think I had any issues with sleep. And the results that I noticed most for X39 when I first started taking it were reduction in pain. I had a lot of pain. And what I noticed over time is that there were still some nights where I was kept awake from the pain, but with the X39 and 49, it was okay. I was still functional and had clear head the next day, even after not sleeping for one, sometimes two, sometimes 3 nights in a row. I mean, napping, but not really sleeping because the pain would wake me up. And then I had never tried Silent Night because I said I don't have sleep issues. Like I put my head on the pillow, I'm gone. And then out of just desperation one night when the pain was so bad, I decided to put on the Silent Night and I was out until 6 hours later when I was completely refreshed and rested. And so I just think it's funny that the X39, the biggest thing I noticed was the pain, but then also there's been this fabulous result with sleep and Silent Night, which I thought was to help me sleep. It actually takes away the pain at night. Or sometimes when I'm having a reaction, it's itching more than pain. Silent Night just takes all of that away. And same thing with coughing. If I have a cough and I can't sleep because I keep coughing, I put on a Silent Night. I don't cough. Or if I do, I don't wake up.
Wow.
It's really amazing.
I've been around the block 5 years and I haven't heard that. That's great. Good job. Thanks for sharing that and waiting till after the quarter after the hour. And unless John Ward, you want to say something else, please lower your hand. And then we'll call on Jerry.
Come on, everybody, get those hands up. Let's go. I have so many to share. I could take up the rest of the time, but trying to pick and choose. I just want to make sure people know that we have one patch wonders, yes, but we have people that kind of give up too soon because you don't want to stop. I mean, like I said, I had a multitude of things happen. I didn't have my first reaction probably till about 4 months, but then after 2.5 years, I've been able to get up and down off of my knees. I was almost like I was 90 years old. People thought that's what I looked like because I used the table and chair to get up and down. I can just use my heels and get myself up now. I can crawl on my knees, which they used to be so painful. They did not work at all. So that took a while and consistency. And I don't want to leave out the hydration. You need to be drinking water with all these patches because it works with your body and you hydrate all your cells and get everything working. And as Sunshower mentioned the Celergize, the morning supplement. It works with all the daytime patches that you're wearing, and you get optimum results with that. And I'll throw one up from my husband with Eon. It was later at night. I had the dishwasher door down. He come walking around the corner and walked right into it with his shin. And he just stared at me with these eyes like, and I says, go put a patch on. And he's looking at me and he says, well, I already have patches on. Well, yeah, he had X39 on during the day. I says, go to the bathroom, get an Eon, put it on. So he went to the bathroom, got an Eon, put it on. By the time he walked back to the kitchen, the pain was gone. So, hang in there, people. It's not always immediate, but it will happen. It's working, and that X39 is going to go to where your body needs it the most. Thanks, Sunshar.
Oh, thank you very much. And just so you know, Jerry is another one of us 4 hosts for this call. And I'm pretty sure Michelle's on too. If you want to say howdy, raise your hand. We'd love to see you. Now I have 6 hands up. And the first one is called iPhone. That does not tell me your name, but if you'd like to unmute and say your name, where you are, give us your testimonial.
Hi everyone. My name is Jay. I'm from California. I just want to briefly just tell my story. I was introduced with X39 by Lavelle Scotton, and when he introduced it to me, I was currently in an accident. I got into an accident, and I had lower back pain, and I was going through um, chiropractors, and they wanted to do some steroid injection in my lower back. But I knew that if I continue to inject myself with that, then I'm gonna be really jacked up. So what happened was I took Lavelle's advice. I took the patches, the X39, and started using it within 2 weeks. My lower back pain went away. I didn't have to go through steroid injection. And then I started to get back in the gym, and I noticed that the X39, when I came out of doing a lot of resistant training, that I had fast recovery where I didn't even experience no pain. So this is amazing patch, and that's my story, and I stick with it.
What your name again was?
Jay.
Jay, that's what I thought. Did you also use X49 then in your training?
I did use the X49, but it was mostly X39 that I had
Uh-huh.
gotten the results where I didn't have experience no fast. I didn't experience no pain when I did my resistant training.
Yeah, I've heard, and there are studies that show the use of both will double whatever you're doing in about 2, 3 months. So you might consider X49 as well, Jay.
Okay.
All righty. And good for Lavelle for introducing you. Well, now, cool. We have 8 minutes or so. Now we have a whole bunch of hands up. It's the way it goes. Okay, how about you, Tracy? And please, Jay, put your virtual hand down now. Okay, Tracy.
Hi there. I just wanted to let y'all know that this weekend, my 84-year-old dad helped me put brakes and rotors on my car. My dad is still very active. He's the type of person that if he has an ache and pain, he won't tell you about it. He was very hesitant about the patches. My mom got on him around Mother's Day of last year, and my dad didn't have a choice. She says, you're going to wear the 39 and 49. So she's had him on that. And when we were finished with the car that evening, I told my dad, I said, let's stick an Eon on. He says, what is an Eon? And I said, well, just all the up and down and laying underneath the car and you cranking on the bolts. And I just don't want you to be sore. And I said, so it's just one more patch that we can add. It'll help you sleep good tonight. It'll be great for inflammation. And so he said, okay, let's do it. So we stuck the patch on him. He slept with it that night. He woke up the next morning. He could not believe that he didn't have any aches and pains from, all the labor that went into it. I don't know if anybody's ever changed the brakes and rotors on their own car, but it is a lot of up and down. And, it was a lot of wear and tear on him. And so the Eon, he could not even believe how that worked. He didn't even have to take ibuprofen. So just wanted to give a testimony about my older father that is not a believer, but he could see it for himself how amazing this is.
It's wonderful when that happens. Jay, please put down your virtual hand, and I'm going to call on Danielle, please.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for
Good
hosting.
morning.
I'll be real quick here. I had sinus surgery a couple of weeks ago, and the doctor said, the swelling, it'll take a little while. I put the Eon on and the X39, and the next day I had no swelling. My sinuses, it was amazing, and I looked so good. I walked out of the house like I'd had a nose job or something. I don't know. Anyway, I just was astounded, and I called him and I said, there's no swelling, and everything's good, and they were shocked. So just as quick and down and dirty as I can share, but I really experienced a major difference.
And you've had lots of great experiences too, haven't you, Danielle? How long have you been with LifeWave again?
I think it's my second year going. I can't remember if it's I think second year.
Well,
Yeah.
Congratulations. I know you've got plenty of stories. I've heard them. And I met Danielle in person. Really lucky to have met you
It was
up in
great.
Salt Lake City. All righty. Thanks so much. Faith, please.
Hi. Well, there's no accident to when you're supposed to be on these calls. I'm answering a response to Jerry, and she had talked about how people get discouraged, and I wanted to say 100%. I've been on it since probably 2023, and it had some great immediate results. And then this past year, I don't know if any of you follow U.S. politics, the climate's insane, and all sorts of stuff has been affecting me. So I've been not wearing my patches as much, and I see that. So I see just, how important, oh my God, how important to sticking with it is. And just, yeah. So I have my grandparents on it, everybody else, and I'm the one falling to the wayside. So just noticing, like I didn't stop, but not as consistent as I was. So grateful to be here and hear that when I know it's a time I need it the most. And definitely I'll be looking into something else for my energy level. So thank you for just that reminder. And yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody it's real. You can definitely get burnout or discouraged, but just stick with it.
And how long have you been with LifeWave, Faith?
2022.
Oh, so you probably know about the Energy Enhancer patch.
A little bit, but I've never tried too many of them. So
Well,
I've
it might
been
be
kind of
something that
a
might be worth
wayside.
considering. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
And
you.
just lower your hand and mute yourself again, please, Faith. And we'll move on to McBarth. Oh, Mara, hi.
Good morning, Shower. Can you hear me?
You're in and out.
Okay, I'm in the car.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was for a customer, Wayne, and he had some flank pain. He thought maybe he had a kidney stone. And he put an X39 on his kidney, which, as we all know, is on your back. And within 24 hours, he had zero pain. And he was in severe pain, like doubled over. And so that's my story for today.
Good one, Mara.
Took the X39 in 24 hours, zero pain. He said he's a LifeWave for forever, like me.
Yeah, just put it where it hurts. That's what my sponsor told me. Just put it where it hurts. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Mara. Okay, we have three more.
Thank you.
And then we may be closing off with Roy. So, Norma, do you want to unmute, please?
Yes, hi. I have been on LifeWave almost 2 years and 1 more month. And I just have to say, at 75, I feel more like I'm 35. I had a huge breast lump when I started these patches and put it right on the spot, popped the spot, and used a different patch at night. And I just felt it shrinking. And the pain went away because there was sensitivity. And in 2 months, it was completely dissolved. That just blew my mind. But one of the stories, because I've got 1,000 stories that I got inspired about this morning, was the fact that I was moving an extremely heavy box. It's heavy. It was heavy for my husband. That used to be no problem, even though I had been diagnosed with a weak muscle disease in my teens. These patches strengthened me. So I thought, oh, I have the strength to put it on the dolly and pull it up over the curb. I didn't quite, and I went crashing onto my back on the curb.
Ooh.
And it was so severe, but I didn't suffer any pain, no bruising. I mean, that's incredible. But the last few days, the last week, I've been on a fast, which I do every year at the new year, a water fast. And I'll tell you, these prayer and patches is what I've said. You know, it's prayer and patches create miracles. But when you have fasting, even if you do a 1 day, a 2 day, and it doesn't even have to be water, just liquids, you know, bone broth or whatever, it will take care of toxins so quickly that you'll notice amazing things. But one thing that happens to me during fasting sometimes is that maybe because I need even more of the Celergize AM and PM, like over the amount suggested, I sometimes get Charlie horses in the morning when I'm stretching, or at night if I kind of stretch. And I'll tell you, I take off my 2 night patches and put it right on that, and within seconds, it dissolves.
And so, Norma, which patch did you say you use in the day and the night?
Oh, well, I use all the patches during the day other than the night patches, and then at night I use Eon and then the Alavita.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't use AccuLife because, you know, but I literally use all the other patches during the day.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Norma. We're actually past the hours, the half hour. So, Josefina, if you and Roy could speak really fast like Minnie Mouse, that'd be good.
Okay, so my story is very quick. A friend has really bad pain, and at convention I found out that if she puts the ice wave and puts the Eon on top of the tan pan, the tan patch, it could help. And she tried it, and it did. Her pain was so severe. She said she felt like she had a nail stuck in her because she has an autoimmune problem. So she's been having beautiful results with all the other patches, but she has healing crisis occasionally, and that was one that was just bending her over, and it was on her foot, and it worked. So anybody has that, try it. It definitely works.
That's amazing. So Eon on the brown patch
Of the ice wave.
wave, right? Well, I haven't heard that one before either. Way to go! Thank you very much, Josefina.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
just lower your hand, and Roy, if you'd like to unmute.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sunshine. I wanted to quickly share. I've been using the patches for about 19 months. Actually, back in May, I went to my primary care physician and got my blood panel work done, and he told me, based on that, he said I could stop taking Pravastatin, I guess a cholesterol medicine I've been taking for about 19 years. And I was surprised when he said that because, I didn't expect that. And that's one of the things. And then Celagize, I started taking that when it came out, I think in May, June. And my weight right now is currently about 230 pounds, down from about 260. So the weight, is coming off. So I feel real good about the progress. And I'm scheduled to see my primary care physician in a week or two, and then I'm curious to see what the panels are. But thank you for letting me share, and I'll continue, letting you know what my progress is.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd love to hear. Thank you so much for showing up at the Miracle Call, and for everybody that was bold enough to give a testimonial. We did go a little bit over, but you know what? We had a slow start, didn't we? So I don't know if Liz wants to say anything about our community update call tonight. Liz?
I anticipate that it will be going forward at 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Gregory Mascari and Robin Blanc Mascari will be hosting it. So,
Right. And the newsletter will come out this afternoon, right?
Yes, it usually comes out around 6 o'clock Eastern.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you
Yes.
so much, everybody.
Sunchar, I'm going to say something real quick about Robin
Okay.
and Gregory. They're doing a special course with, I think it's Mind Valley, right, Liz? And so that's why they're not on these Monday morning miracle calls for a while. But yes, the community calls are happening as always on Monday nights at 6 Pacific.
And that was Michelle Neals, one of the 4 hosts for the Miracle Call. Well, thank you so much for that one, Michelle. And for everybody else, if you want to unmute and say ta-ta for the week.
Ta-ta. Great
Thank
work.
you. Bye bye.
Oh, beautiful
Bye.
job,
Thank
honey.
you. Bye bye.
Great week.
Thank you. Great call.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
But if you think we need any more.
Great call.
Great shares, everybody.
Praise God for everything.
Thanks, Sunshine.
Professional
as
usual.
Yeah, if you think we need any more,
She's
let me know
such
and
a
I'll start recording the
professional.
shows
She
again because you never
consummate
have to pay that
professional.
full price.
Have
a great day.
You too,
Be safe.
Michelle, Jerry.
Can't wait to
Thank
get
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Great
you.
call. Love you all. Nice call. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Sorry, I was at work.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Next 39 day.
Keep on patching.
Keep on patching. Have a great week.
Bye.
Look up Sunshower's art.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Great
Thank
call.
you.
Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
51.
Energy. Woo, woo, woo.
Hey, Liz, I think we can stop the recording, right?
Celebrate. Celebrate your day.